Hey y'all, this is Audra Hicks with Simply Home, your Tennessee Realtor. Today I'm going to delve into investment property, so stay tuned because I put the real in real estate. So investing in real estate is, I think, the number one thing to do for your investments or long-term, short-term strategies, and build your portfolio over time. It doesn't mean that you have to start out big right now. You can start with one property. As you get that one going, learn the ins and outs of doing that, move on to multiple properties. So you have anywhere from just single family homes, my investors that like the 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I have investors that like 3-bedroom, 1 to 2 baths, duplexes or quadruplexes, which give you more bang for your buck because when you buy it, then you at least have 2 to 3, 4 renters, hopefully at a time. So you're making more off that one said property than if you just had one single family home. So those are always wonderful to get into. I've had clients that love those type of properties. I have also had clients buy property that had a house with barn, and we've split it up. I think I've mentioned that in a previous video. We've split it up and sold off 3 plots of land, and one with a house and barn, and land, just raw land where people can buy and build what they want or just keep it for that. I've had investors that want to buy just land and just flip land. So they got it for a good price and flipped the land and cleared it, got it ready for, somebody to come by that would be ready to just build or whatever. And that can be anywhere from just an acre to multiple acres, like 20 acres or so. So you can just split up the property and go ahead and get it surveyed and prepped and ready and things like that, and then make money off of doing that. So it's all in what you want to do. Do you want to do long-term rentals versus short-term rentals? I like to sit down with you, figure out what your game plan is. Do you want to flip properties? Flipping is kind of like on the properties that I just mentioned that had homes and land, and we've split it all up and surveyed it off and perk tested and done everything that we could do beforehand. Then those are like flip properties. I've had investors buy distressed properties, and it's took 30 to 90 days to, depending on the time of year, to flip it. And then we've always ended up doing well with those. One investor got to pay off their house and become debt free, and that just made my heart happy. So they were able to do that after a few flips, and now I think they're pros. So, and I guess I am too, because I've helped them do that, and all my investors and stuff that do that. So also, me and my family are going to invest over in East Tennessee, in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area, because that's always a great tourist destination. So we would love to do the short-term rentals. And then also we want to get distressed properties as well, and looking to do that this coming year so that we can do flips ourselves and do that. So it's always a good thing. You can also do just raw land and flip it. But you need to kind of sit down and figure out if you're going to have to get some kind of bank loan, or if you've got all cash or some cash and a bank loan, and run numbers on what you think that you can get for that property every month. And does it work out long term for you to do that? Because with all of the maintenance that you need to do, if it's already a property that's been done like that, and they're trying to do like a 1031 exchange and sell it to buy another investment, they already kind of have a track record of knowing what they were able to get, and you can look at their past things and see what they got for their rentals, what their maintenance was, and what you know, their profit was off of each, what they netted off of each property. So gross isn't always what you get. It will never be what you get. We would love to, but you know, you bring in your gross minus all your expenses and get your net. And sometimes you have to pay to get it managed, and that can be a wide range, anywhere from 10% to I've heard of 40-50%, but usually it's not that bad if you cannot be there, and then they can property manage, get all the cleaning done in between people, get it all ready and maintenance done, things like that. So sometimes it's a good thing to have them managed and then you not have to manage them unless you are in that area. But sometimes it's not good that you do it, because then they come to you and they know who the owner is and they have your number, and it's sometimes not a good thing that you just manage them yourself unless you know the ins and outs of managing a property. Sometimes you just go into it and you learn that. So I'm not saying that you can't, but rental properties can be long-term, steady income, great in your portfolio. I would love the opportunity to sit down with you, figure out what your game plan is, and see where you want to be. You can buy investment properties, even short-term rentals in and around the Nashville area. Now, there are restrictions on certain kinds of properties like Airbnbs and things like that, so you need to know the ins and outs of that. So you don't want to buy a property that you think you can do that with and you can't. Some areas say that you can't have any less than 30-day rentals, so you would have to do a 30-day or month-to-month rental with that one. And then but you can do very well even with single family homes. You might want to buy one, get your feet wet in that, move into multiples over times. We knew somebody years ago that bought a property. He kept it for a few years. I mean, he kept it long term, but after a few years, he was able to buy another one. And I think he worked his way up to having 10 in his portfolio. And every one that he did, he made sure he paid off before he went to a new one. Then the next one, he paid it off before he went to another one. And after 10 years, he had 10 properties. He was pretty set for life. And then at times you might say, oh, I don't like this investment over here as much but I don't really want to do away with it, but I might need to do a 1031 exchange. So that's a whole nother video. And then because you really love this other property, but you really need to go ahead and let go of a property to go do that. So you may need to do a 1031 exchange. So that's a good topic that I just come up with for another video, and that would be good. So you need to break down your cash flow, your cap rate, your ROI calculations, and all that. If you don't know how to do that, you need to find a financial advisor or somebody that can go over all of that, your real estate agent, whatever, if they're very well versed in that, to try to look at that. Some factors to consider are neighborhood, growth potential, local market trends, things like that. If there is quite a bit of things to do in the area where travelers come for your short-term rentals, we are Music City, so a lot of people love to come here in the Nashville area, and you can do quite well here. So I do have quite a few investors that love Clarksville. Clarksville, Tennessee is a hopping town. There's a lot of rentals, so you do very well even on just long-term rentals, meaning a few months to 6 months. So you could do a 3-month, a 6-month, a year rental there, because you have a lot of people moving in and out of Clarksville a lot of the military, because there's military bases there and near the Kentucky base and stuff. So you have got a lot going on in Clarksville and so much to do in Clarksville, and it's pretty close to everything. So a lot of people like that. It is about an hour to an hour and a half drive for me, but I have car will travel, and I don't mind the drive. I go everywhere I've went anywhere 3 hours away from where we are. even in West Tennessee over to East Tennessee and down south. So, and up north, of course. That's my main area anyway, is the north of Nashville. But in Clarksville, several investors, they usually like to have 2-bedroom, 1-bath ones, or 3-bedroom, 1 to 2 baths there. They seem to do very well with those and keep them rented out all the time. So as soon as one's coming up, they can go ahead and flip it around and do that. Now, on your flipping properties or your renovating properties, I have helped many clients buy. I've found the right investment property, because we have to get it for a certain amount in order, once we go see it, to know kind of what we're going to have to put into it to get it to where it needs to be to renovate it and get it in great condition for the next buyer. So you got to kind of have an idea of budget of what you're going to spend on it versus what you bought for it, and if it makes sense to buy it in order to make money on it, and how much money you want to make on it. Some don't want to make a ton, but as long as they're making something and they, can put cash flow in their pocket, they do that. And most of mine have come out very well on doing it, and I mean, all of mine have done very well, and so far never been in the negative, so that's a great thing. So it just depends on what you want to do with the property. I've had buying land with a house and the barn, we've split it off, sold it out in 3 different properties, but you've got to know how to survey, how to get a surveyor, prep the property. Is it been perk tested? Know how many bedrooms that it's perk tested for, so that we can sell it and be able to market to either somebody that's going to want to buy it and build their own, or builders or whoever, because that's investment properties too. A lot of builders like to buy property because we ain't making no more land, so they buy land, and they want to build homes there. So they want to know how many homes they can build there. If it's already been surveyed already and we've done everything ahead of time, you end up faring better per acre than if you didn't do that. So usually you got to spend money to make money, and in real estate, that's what you have to do. Now, it comes with a lot of risks as well, because the markets can change, and you've got to factor in those risks and see if it is a risk that you want to take to do. But the important part is the location when you're investing in real estate, where you want to be, what you're wanting to do with your investments, and be honest with your real estate agent, because they need to know if you're planning on putting what you're planning on doing with the land, because we need to do our due diligence ahead of time and know if you might be able to do that or what. So some people might want to buy property for certain things. Some buy raw land to put in, like a glamping area, or they want to have it for a campground. Well, you have to have a certain amount of acreage for that. So if you only bought 6 acres or 7 acres, you're not going to probably be able to do that. So you need to know, and your real estate agent needs to know what the ins and outs of buying whatever property it is, versus what you want to do with it in order to not get yourself in a bad investment. So investments are great in real estate. Everything's at a risk. So you just know that going into it, and are you willing to take that calculated risk? All of us entrepreneurs love to take risks, and sometimes we hate it, but usually it pays off in the long run, as long as you stay your course and you stay on budget and you do what you need to do for the property. There's some properties, if they're a certain price range, you might not want to put granite in when you flip it. There's certain things you won't do to it to be the most expensive house in the neighborhood. You don't want to do that, especially when it's flipped. So you have to take yourself out of it and what you want in a house, and put what needs to be in that house for that area, that neighborhood, the house, everything. So so hopefully, if you're not a seasoned investor and you're just getting started, reach out to me. Or even if you are a seasoned investor and you need a realtor to help you navigate through buying and stuff. So I would love to help you. If not, and you're in a different area, I may help you find an agent in that area that you need. So, if you're wanting to build a diverse portfolio, then you've got to figure out what type of portfolio. You can even buy multifamily units, like your duplexes, quadruplexes. You might want to invest in a mobile home park. Some people want to buy a campground. You could buy apartment complex. It just depends. Some people want to buy a commercial building so they can rent it out to certain things, certain businesses. But it's just ever flowing of what you can do in real estate, to invest in real estate. And as long as you have that dream and that drive, and you're willing to take the calculated risk to do it, then I say go for it. So real estate is the way to go, especially when you want to invest and rent it out, or become that landlord. But even if you don't want to let everybody know you're a landlord, just hire a good property management company to do that. And I have a lot of clients that just manage it all themselves, especially long-term rentals. A lot easier to do that with. Sometimes your short-term rentals is where a property management company would be even better to do, because you either may not be there, people are coming and going, you might have a busy life and you can't handle all that, you might not even know how to do all of that. So you need to find the proper professionals that can do that. And then on the 30-day rentals and stuff, a good investment would be buying single family homes, furnishing them, and doing rentals for people that have had a disaster. So a disaster rental would be great. Usually you deal with insurance companies. We know because we lost our home to a fire in 2015, and it was hard to find because you've lost everything, so you're not going to be, you don't have furniture. So as long as it is a home that has been fully furnished and it's ready to go, kind of like your short-term rentals in, Gatlinburg or whatever, if you had short-term rentals here, it may be 30 days, 60 days. We had ours for 6 months. We stayed in a beautiful neighborhood in Hendersonville called Islandbrook subdivision, and we loved it that we could just go right in and move right on in and just bring our pups with us. And it was me and my hubby and son, and they just gave us the keys. We went in, we had plates for cooking there, and all the dishes and the pots and pans, and a refrigerator to keep things, and your bed, and just different things. So the disaster rentals is always, I think, a market that people don't always understand or know about. And if you had those, a lot of insurance companies would, usually you get paid per day up front. I believe ours, it's like a 100 and something a day is what the insurance paid for it, plus a deposit for each pet, things like that. So it just depends on the rental and what type of house it is, and all of that. So that always comes in handy when you lose your home to a fire or a tornado, or you have an ice dam in the wintertime and you have to move out in order to get reconstruction done and stuff like that. So people are always in need of rentals in all different price ranges of houses too. Because they usually look at what type house you have as an insurance in your insurance and put you in something similar to what you had. So in all price ranges, it would be good to have investment properties fully furnished, ready to go for that kind of, person that needs to come in, the family or whatever. And then you get all of that up front, so you know it's rented out for 6 months, and you've already either getting paid, I guess, by insurance. They may do it monthly. I think ours, we were told, was all done up front. And he done it for, I believe, a certain amount of months, and then he would pay if we extended or whatever, the adjuster and stuff. So those are an avenue to take too for investments. We've always said we would love to look at doing that eventually because of what we went through, and there is a need for that, especially in this area, because you might have tornadoes or storms or something. Electrical, just had clients have to move out of a home and had to stay in a hotel because their home got struck by lightning. Ours did years ago, and we had to move out for several weeks too or whatever. So there's always something that would have a need. Somebody would have a need for that kind of rental. So those are great to buy and invest in as well. And that's kind of like your short-term rentals. They're not going to be less than 30 days usually anyway. So that would be a good avenue. Any of your single family homes for that, you could, do that. So I thought I would bring that up today too, because not a lot of people know about that. And it's a good thing to do. So now you would have to charge if somebody broke stuff or stole things and things like that. But on that note, you'd have the insurance that is, taking care of all of that as well. So that might be a good avenue for you. I thought I'd mention that one too. All different types of things that you can do to invest in real estate. Comment below if you would like to talk about any of that. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And please share with your friends and family. And I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a good day. Thanks. Bye.